Hey guys, Curtis the Urban Farmer here. This is a quick little video blog on what's happening on the farm today. It's September 10th, 2015. We are approaching the fall and we are in the shoulder season mode now. So when we're planting crops, we're not planting every week any longer. We're kind of spacing out our crop successions, and we are planting things with the intention of establishing them strong into the fall so that we have a lot of crops planted at once to give us steady production even well into the winter. So you can see here in our high rotation plot, we've got every bed is planted and is in rotation, but now we're going to come on to the last succession of all of these beds. So in our high rotation areas, we have each bed planted 4 times at least. Sometimes it might be 3 if you had a bed of carrots in there, say, for example. But for the most part, each bed is planted 4 times in the season. And that's because we're only planting quick growing crops here, like radishes, baby red Russian kale, leaf lettuce, more radishes, more red Russian kale, a lot of the same kind of things. But we rotate each bed throughout the season by planting different types of crops in them each time. So let's just take a quick little look around this plot. So in our greenhouses right now, we're coming to the tail end of our tomatoes. We've just got maybe a couple weeks left of picking here. We've taken out the middle row because it was finished, it wasn't producing much. So what we've done is we've interplanted. So we're establishing fall crops in these greenhouses. We planted more red Russian kale, arugula, and some spinach, and those crops should be ready in about 3 or 4 weeks. By that time, the weather's going to get a lot cooler, and so we'll be harvesting off those beds well into the season, like possibly into December. Crops in the middle of the greenhouses are just kind of finishing up, and not much really to report there. They won't last much longer. Just some eggplants there. And we've got some kale. So we've pulled out most of the tomatoes in this tunnel, and we've just left about 10 plants that we're still producing. And the nice thing about when we planted this greenhouse in the spring is that we interplanted it like we do with all of our greenhouses, and the tomatoes went in sort of on the sides of the walkways, so they didn't interfere with the crop that was already there. So it's great because then it means that we can plant something in here without the tomatoes interfering. And so we've put in kale, and these kale are doing really well. So this is a great crop that we'll be harvesting well into the winter, all the way through the winter, and even into the beginning of the spring, until we have our field crop of kale ready. And then by that point we'll just transition to that one, and then this greenhouse will get planted out again with tomatoes like it was this year. We've got some tomatoes that we just picked from that tunnel. So it's all really slowing down now. You know, once you get into the shoulder season, everything starts to grow slower. Your days are getting exponentially shorter. The nights are getting cooler. All your date to maturities are slowing down, and so that's why it's important when you're preparing for the winter harvest or the winter season, is that you have to plant a lot of crops out at once, opposed to planting out, say, in the summertime, say May through July, and even into August. I'm planting quick crops every single week, and I'm just planting what I need for a week. So I might plant 4 beds of radishes because I know I can harvest those and sell those in a week. I might plant 2 beds of arugula because I know I can harvest and sell those in a week, so on and so forth. But as you get into the fall, the days after you approach the fall equinox start to get exponentially shorter, at least for us in the northern hemisphere. And so that means that if radishes on average are ready in 28 days, it means that as the days get shorter, it's going to be a little bit longer. It could be 35 or 40 days. So what I start to do is plant out large amounts of crops. So I'll be planting out, say, 8 beds of radishes in 2.5 week intervals, for example, so that when those radishes are ready, say by mid-October, they can all be ready, and that's okay because they're not going to outgrow each other, because the weather's so much cooler that they're just going to sit there and more or less sit dormant in the ground. And so that's what you want. And so it's the same strategy with carrots. Like with carrots, I plant out huge areas of carrots, sometimes entire plots, in the first week of August. And then those will be ready before it gets cold, and they'll just sit in the ground, and we'll cover them with poly low tunnels. So back here we've just got some sort of an auxiliary area where we experiment and just grow some crops for ourselves to eat, actually. But yeah, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and like and share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and check out my online course, profitableurbanfarming.com, and check out my book, The Urban Farmer, at theurbanfarmer.co. All right, thanks for watching.